Monday. That's right. The beginning of the week. We are closing in on the end of July. This is the last full week of the month. Holy cow. We got a movie night tomorrow night. Hopefully you're there for it. The Great Outdoors, the comedy that started a kind of all of the little, jaunts with comedians. I always thought it was a super fun movie. I hope you will be there if you are a member at Gold Tier or higher. And that should be coming out to you in a community message later today. We've got lots of people out there joining us this morning, including O.C. Dobbins from the belly of the beast itself, and the lovely Penny all the way from an amazing location, Baden Lake in North Carolina. I hope you're having fun. What a great place to be when it's hot at the lake. It's a good time indeed. We've got Griffin out there giving us today's history. I have been missing these, by the way. When Griffin's gone, it makes me sad. But on June 23rd of 1819, the first edition of the sketchbook of Geoffrey Crayon, that was by Washington Irving. It featured the story Rip Van Winkle. The story is a sleeper hit. Bah! I have to love it. Thank you for that, Griffin. Much appreciated. And I think it's a lot of fun. Let's see. Who else is out there? We got Morgan King. Good morning to you. Want to say thanks to Weatherman for the gifted a Cultured Casino membership over on the Green Machine. That also includes the otherwise also amazing Ruby Hoove. I guess Ruby Hoove gifted a Culture Casino membership, but also informed me that both her and Hoove have the vid. Oh no, that's terrible news. Very bummed out by that. I hope you recover quickly. I hope you have a quality physician to give you advice, because I am not a physician. We got a few other folks rolling through the door as well. Who else? It's not Spider-Man. I was hoping it was Spider-Man, but no. And I want to say thanks to Jill for using her wrench for good, and to Ms. Pick Cafe for sending me an email about the thing. Now everybody's going to wonder what the thing is. I think that'll be funny. We got a few other folks that slid in the door as we were off and running, including our prismatic paladin, Critizable, the Rainbow Knight. So great to see you, my friend. It's always a better day with you here, and with Fat Elvis joining us as well. That's right. Fat Elvis out there smashing that thumb, which I appreciate. Good morning, Hampton. I hope you are well. It is an extraordinary, beautiful day. I hope everybody's out there enjoying it. And, you're not dreary and cold and snowbound. That's a good thing. Cloud Sailing. Hello. What's going on, my friend? Butter Biscuit dropped a Rumble rant over on the Green Machine. That's right. And good old heat wave in Lewittown, PA. Pray for me, for it is a brutal. Offer your mailman a bottle of water, peeps. Yeah, my mailman's amazing. Every time he rolls down the street, he's walking. And I am always happy to give him water when I see him. So, let's see. What else is out there? Swift -1. Hey, what's up, Matt G? And the ever-famous low-spec Linux Gaming. Check out Jeff on his channels. He's worth the watch. Super fun. Hello, talented man, Andy Masterson. All right, folks, it's time to go. So 6 minutes starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do in. So let's get to the first story of the day right now. That's right, meow. J.K. Rowling says she worked closely with writers on HBO's Harry Potter series, and we will be beginning to see filming right about now. That's right, mid-summer. They're going to get on with this, and I think it's going to be very, very interesting, especially with the cast that they have. I'm not super thrilled with some of the casting choices, and I'm offended by one of them, and I think a lot of people are as well. So I'm not sure what Warner Brothers expects to get out of this ultimately, but it may be a lot of frustration, and that's a bad thing. Speaking of bad things, well, maybe not so bad. Mark Cuban was approached to be VP. That's right. Kamala Harris wanted this guy, who's dumber than a bag of hammers, to well, I guess that makes sense. Anyway, to be the VP because she thought highly of him. I don't know, but he came out and said, look, I'm not a very good number 2 person. I'm like, well, you probably take a lot of laxatives then. All right, we got box office 28 years later. That did really well. Franchise record opening weekend at $30 million. Of course, it was also helped along by the fact that, inflation's ridiculous. But Elio is the worst debut in Pixar history, and that is saying something. $21 million in market money. And if you watched today's video, you got a breakdown of exactly what this was and why, and just how bad it is for Disney. I don't think this is going to be a broader appeal on the streaming service, and I don't care what Disney pays itself to stream it. I think Disney is continuing to double down on the wrong formula, mixing politics and identitarianism and all this other garbage in with, well, what should be actually escapism. They haven't had that for a long time, and it's showing when you get to the box office. We've got, Madison Avenue freaking out, worried about the AI adpocalypse. This is a real story. It's worth a read. It's in the business section of the Hollywood Reporter, and they're not wrong to worry because we're at a point now where advertising agencies may not even be needed anymore. There's going to be a lot in the future that's going to be done by AI. Humans are going to be replaceable in a lot of different industries, and Madison Avenue is just one of them. 28 years later, of course, we mentioned just a few moments ago, but you are now seeing Lilo and Stitch topping 910 million worldwide. That's pretty good. Elio missed the liftoff. The total global earnings was actually only 35 million. If you don't think this film is a failure, I don't know what else to tell you. I haven't seen something like this in a long time, and Disney is always the butt of the joke, and they're going to be even worse than that in the future. Most exhibition execs think that the traditional movie going is gone. 20 years from now, it's not a viable business model. Might be sooner than that, the way that they're approaching it, but I am not this doom and gloom. You're going to see a video with me and Pro and Marvin the Movie Monster talking about this very subject here later in the day, so do check out the WDW Pro channel for that video and others. It's going to be a full day. Oh, I have a special surprise for people tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk about it during bonus time. Margaret Cho says Ellen DeGeneres was really weird and not nice, and that was basically for most of her life and career that she was close to her. I kind of feel bad for Margaret Cho for a lot of reasons. She just didn't get the exposure that she deserved, but at the same time, I think we now know just how terrible a person Ellen DeGeneres was, and probably will be, at least for a few more years. I don't know what else to say other than she looks like a really old Brian Williams if you've seen recent photos. Regardless, I just think it's bad news to step on people while you're on top, and then you shouldn't be surprised you're going to get some backlash from people like Margaret Cho and others. When you look at what's happening in the markets right now, which directly correlates with what's going on in the broader international sense and the conflicts that supposedly we're trying not to enter, I don't know how you could say that, but you're going to see oil and stocks moving around quite a bit, and it's going to be unpredictable for a while. So, I'm not going to give you any advice. I'm just going to say, just be aware that this type of conflict creates different kinds of hardships. Robo-taxis are now a thing. The first robo-taxi ride that I saw that was live streamed was fascinating, and Musk bets cabs will give Tesla a lift after boycotts and sales plunged. Boy, do they say that in the most egregious way possible. That's kind of frustrating. I will say this. I think that robo-taxis are the way to get rid of Lyft, Uber, and many of the other ride-sharing services, and I think it's the wave of the future. The guy that whose parents were kidnapped after $245 million in Bitcoin theft is pleading guilty to federal charges for being the person that made that situation happen. The Supreme Court rejects a toy company's push for a quick decision on tariffs because they don't even want to get involved in this, which you can't blame them. There's no winning. You got a bunch of foods loaded with protein. The nutritionists say you probably don't need it. I don't know. Some people may. You're making an assumption and a general statement that probably isn't accurate. And we missed a few stories along the way, but I wanted you to see the bear story. A couple of bear cubs playing tag. Yeah, that's right. They were just doing a game that most kids are familiar with. This video is available at the Daily Mail. Thank you to them for making it available to us. And they literally are just playing tag. And you're it. and then running off, and then the other one runs, and it's crazy. A lot of fun. It's a fun video. Go check out this particular video over on dailymail.co.uk, and it'll be a lot of fun. That's right. New York Trail Cam was what caught this video. On that note, we're done for the day. I will say thank you again to Ruby Hoof and Admiral Teague for being a member for 16 months. Welcome now to bonus time. I'm pretty excited to share bonus time with you. Let me just put it this way. Cinemas are going to be in trouble until they remember who their audience is and what they go to theaters for. And I think that's where the problem is, to be fair. Let's see. We got our good friend Robert for 2 Culture Casino Cash saying, hey, Dragon came too close to Stitch. Hurt its box office, in my opinion. I agree with you. And guess what? Ugly cartoon from Pixar, Elio, may have not helped Disney at all by coming in on the tail end of Lilo and Stitch. I think that $21 million here domestically could have gone to either been equally split with Dragon, or it could have gone to Lilo and Stitch. There's a real problem with what's happening in theaters these days. But with only about $90 million to go, I think Lilo and Stitch will actually make that $1 billion threshold, but not by much. I think that it definitely cut it short, though, Robert. So I agree with you there. I think that's a big problem. Hollywood's just not paying attention. Look, your audience will go to see new IP if it's good and absent politics or any other kind of messaging. If you want to tell a moral story, you certainly can, and those are usually successful, especially if you pull a reference from something that the people in the audience can identify with. But you have to have a history of doing that. And do you know who doesn't have a history of that right now? Disney. Disney's a huge problem. I'm just saying. Hey, the Bad Cap. Good morning. We got Tony Piacente here. We've got lots of amazing beings. You guys are on fire. Morgan King, good to see you, buddy. I think I highlighted Andy Masterson, the most talented man on the internet. We got Jan Monroe out there. Davina Duckworth. Hello, dear. And I think I said hi to Matt G. I'm pretty sure. Got a few more folks rolling in the door while I was chatting away during the 6-minute daily. I just want to say thanks for being here each and every day. You mean the world to me, audience. And if I start to miss you, I notice that you haven't been around in a while, you're going to make me worry. So, keep showing up. I appreciate that. And I hope you do too. We got Frank's here. That's right. Frank Hammett joined us. We've got Ewan Cumia in the house. Great to see you, my friend. Dan Aykroyd and John Candy are great in that movie. And I think, again, it was kind of the beginning of the camp style movie stuff with comedians. And I think it's one of the reasons why it went bonkers. And it's one of the reasons I love it so much. Can't wait to watch that tomorrow night with the gold tier members and higher. I think we have coming up this Saturday a member stream of some sort. It might be High Rollers. Not sure. Have to check. Let's see. What else we got? Commander Ed Straker of Shadow. Oh, and my buddy last night sent me an invite. I was able to join after I cleaned out the greenhouses. Brahma Bowl. Good to see you, Brahma. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Let's see. Who else? We had a few other else's. Caveat Ties is here. Crazy White Boy over there on the green machine. Tobach. And many, many more. Let's see. Lucius Nature Triste saying hi to the buried one. And I Schultz says, good morning, all. Morning. Grim is in the house. Hello. And a few other folks like M&M Fish is back. Great to see you, my friend. Still love the kitty cat. One of my favorite patterns on a cat. Just gorgeous. Especially a gray kitty. Let's see. What else we got? Istaphobos in the house. Great to see you, my friend. Glad to see you returning more regularly. And Rogue Thinka is here with the famous avatar. Weatherman. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Thank you for dropping another gifty on the crowd over at the Green Machine. Amazing sauce. Randall Orser is connecting with us all the way from Canada, along with Carl Singh and many others. Let's talk a little bit about the theater. Cynthia Carter, good morning. We did go. And I'm going to say this. The top 3 films are usually the telltale sign of a box office weekend, and they couldn't drum up enough money to make anybody care. I think the idea that cinemas may collapse is entirely on the studio's heads, not because of the exhibitioners, because they're not doing anything that I would consider to be wrong. They're just trying to give you the best movie going experience, and they're even spending money to be enabled to do that, especially AMC theaters right now. We're seeing more in the expansion of IMAX. But when you have cinema numbers collapsing over 50% from weekend to weekend on films that are, now 2 weeks old, that's not great. Um, 28 years later is going to, of course, have this wonderful opening for horror fans, but it's going to fall off a very steep cliff when it comes to next weekend, not only because of the additional offerings that are coming to theaters, but well, for many other reasons, Elio is never going to do better than it did this last weekend. And if it falls off at the anticipated 50+%, it's over. And if you only make 88 million on your top 3 films, that's a problem. That's a problem. Um, the total box office this weekend was dismal, disappointing. On only 22 films so far that have reported receipts, you only have 125 million in total box office receipts in the domestic market, North America. That's not good. That's not good. That's dangerously close to being under 100 million, and we've already had a full season of under 100 million every weekend in the box office. Everything in the winter was dismal. Very little higher end performance. And sometimes it was one film that was driving the box office, not 3. I have a feeling that we're going to see the numbers tick up because the offerings showing up here the end of the month and in July are going to be massive. But after we get through August, we're back to the doldrums again. This is bad, guys. Really is. I'm kind of worried. I don't know about you guys. Good morning, Juliet. It's great to see you here today. You were up late last night. Ah, pain like Bane. What's going on? Elio bombs, but so did Trump. Ah, joke. That's a funny joke. Oh, by the way, I think YouTubers are realizing that the algorithm changed. Was talking about that this morning with some other YouTubers, and yeah, I think YouTube is trying to force you guys to be interested in more mainstream garbage. So if you aren't interested in that, you need to let YouTube know by, well, having them stop recommending it to you. You can do that on the PC on your browser rather easily. Um, but if you get asked the question on whether or not you enjoyed something, believe it or not, the answer to that is important. So if you see one of my videos float by, or Pro, or That Park Place, or any of the people in our sphere, hopefully you enjoyed the videos and indicate yes, because that's the only way you're going to fix your algorithm and everybody else's. Believe it or not, the uh, the forced mainstream move is something that they have to do because, well, they are governed by political garbage, which is why you can find me on the Green Machine as well as on other social media platforms, because I know that there could be a day when I'm not here anymore. That's all. Channel surf. He is a number 2 person. We made some good jokes. Hey, it's Staccato DDS. Good morning, friend. I hope you're doing well and you're staying safe. And I love your iconography there. That's amazing. Let's see who else showed up today. We got a lot of great people here. I just can't imagine Kamala Harris and Mark Cuban. What a terrible ticket. That'd be like putting Adam Schiff up there as a vice president or presidential candidate. That'd be hysterically funny. I don't even know that he'd win his hometown. I don't know how he won the seat that he has now. Uh, I actually don't know how he's not wearing handcuffs, but that's a different conversation. Not usually one I have on my channel. Let's see who else is out there in the world other than Mr. Staccato. The lovely Cynthia is here. Good morning, dear. Hope you're doing well. Mr. Cat's in the audience. Did you know that Admiral Teague has been here for 16 months as a rewards club member? Congratulations, Mr. Teague. We got so much else going on today. Um, let's see. Midnight's Edge in the Morning is going to be coming up next here in about an hour, just around an hour from now. I'm going to be having a shortened day today. I have to go take care of a few things before I show up to do the box office coverage over at Midnight's Edge in the Morning. But I'll just tell you this much: um, there's really not much to crow about in theaters. So maybe that's why the industry is trying to report on itself that the business model is collapsing. No, it's the studios are collapsing. And that's the truth. They just don't make anything or very few things that are good. We have independent creators like Robert out there. We have a few others in the world that can make things, you know. You've got people that, can dabble in practical effects and give you something entertaining. You've got AI now being utilized with persistent characters. Um, in a way that really will make it so that you and I and any kid in high school is going to be able to make a movie that may go viral on YouTube or other social platforms. I think YouTube's going to have to stop worrying about whether something was AI created because we're getting so close to things right now that you won't be able to tell. That's pretty wild, at least to me. Hey, Krish is here. Good morning. Good morning. And a few other folks sneaking in like Ram Bam 3000. No, I wouldn't hire a robo taxi. See, that's where I'm just a little bit different. I like the idea of being in the back of a car, and if I get into an accident, I'm not responsible for it. I think they're kind of interesting. Um, is you start to realize that the level of compute and access to information and prediction models that these taxis are going to have and continue to build upon, that's a lot of compute. That's a lot of information that they've gobbled up and kind of algorithmically made it safer for the vehicle to drive than you. Human error is a big problem. Now, the only thing that would bother me was in the second Watch Dogs video game, which is the idea that you have a life score. And if you're going to have an accident, regardless, and your life score factors into how badly you're injured, or if you will live or die, I think that's a problem. But right now, the government in the UK is trying to put their own version of Canada's self deletion campaign into action in that country. Yeah, I'm really sick and tired of the fact that they don't want to pay for you. That they look at the human condition as a commodity that can be bought and sold, and that's truthful. And can you can be commoditized to the point where it's like, well, you're not worth worrying about in this car accident. I think that's a problem. But so far, none of that's reported in any of the Tesla robocabs, so I'm not so worried about it. And AI is only as good as the people programming it. That's so very true. And that's one of the reasons why Musk is trying to take action with X and fix the AI and remove the woke garbage from it. Believe it or not, he's actually making an effort at that. And I've been participating, I've been chastising the AI for giving me socialist communist talking points as part of an answer to research questions. And I have been scolding it to the point where it doesn't do it anymore because it knows what my response is going to be. Kind of like that. Jin Karaya in the house. Great to see you, my friend. And Snorty's very happy about the bear story. I thought that was fun. Bears playing tag. It was cute. They were super fun to watch. Go watch that. It's over on the Daily Mail site. Bears, they're in New York, so it's a fun little thing. It's better than me telling you about the bear that had to be put down because it bit somebody who was sleeping in an unprotected area in the middle of the forest. That's pretty dumb. Let's see who else is out there. I'm so far behind, guys. You know what? If I missed you, it's not on purpose. I'm just going to try to scroll so I'm at least within 5 minutes of when people sent these chats. Uh, Carlos Alfredo Lopez in the house. I've not seen you in a long time, buddy. I guess you were here at the very end of the stream yesterday, but I wanted to say hi. Walter Tomaszewski's here. Why are movies so flipping expensive? Hey, to produce, distribute, advertise. Um, you're paying people too much and you're paying too many people. This problem is always going to be exacerbated because of the way that the unions are at interplay with the studios. Even when you move them out of country to somewhere like the UK, they're still incredibly expensive, despite the fact that the talent in the UK is less expensive, believe it or not. It's one of the reasons why you see a lot of English actors in American productions. Um, and it's why you see a lot of stuff made there because of the tax rebates. If you think about it, I think Disney has recouped because of just the Marvel films alone. Disney has recouped over $600 million just on Marvel movies that they've shot in the UK. Might be more than that. But I believe that's accurate. I also believe when you look at the breakdown of Marvel films, you can see the death spiral and what films survive and what or do well and what films don't. And you can see where they started to have the negative product of all the politics and the lack of escapism started to truly affect them. And it even started to happen a little bit before Endgame, but it really started to accelerate after phase 3 came to an end because the audience was done and everything else became homework. That's a good argument, but I think it comes down to stop trying to make girl boss stuff to an audience that wasn't there for that. I mean, you can have very powerful characters. I mean, there are plenty of them. We're talking about this multiple times this weekend, and I think I went on a bit of a rant on it either Friday or Saturday or both. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yep, and Disney did lay off a ton of animators just a few weeks ago. My feeling is similar to some comments that were made on Saturday's show by one of you wonderful folks in the chat. You're going to get to a point where a lot of the special effects are AI. That's going to reduce costs, no doubt, but it's pretty wild. Holy cow, Brian McCann, what's up, buddy? Been a Rewards Club member for 22 months, says Culture. WH40K. You're a space wolf. I'm trying, buddy. I'm trying. I really am trying to get there. We're getting close. And the new channel has over 100 subscribers. If you're not subscribed to Campione Reacts, please do so. I will be hopefully recording more segments today and throughout the week. I'm trying to get to put up 3 segments a week over there if possible. And they're a lot of fun. But very, very exciting to say the least to get that channel over 100. And we got to get it to 1,000. I really don't know. I do believe I didn't do the same strategy as my friend Valiant and drop the channel before I released any content. I probably should have done that, but I'm making an appeal to you right now to subscribe to Campione Reacts. I think you're going to enjoy what myself and the many ladies are capable of producing. Yeah, I know Pixar needs to speed dial John Lasseter. Yeah, I think they should have done that a long time ago, Fat Elvis. Let's be honest. Man, this is crazy stuff. You guys, I'm trying to play catch up. You are all brilliant. Look at this chat move. Woohoo! Theaters had a serious streak and making sure there was always blockbuster going at one time or another. But there hasn't been. I mean, outside of How to Train Your Dragon on its opening weekend, it fell off 56%. It still managed to stay in first place, even with 2 newcomers and 28 years later in Elio. This conversation is going to be interesting when we get to Midnight's Edge in the morning today, because I'm going to tell you that the conversation is going to be centered around the idea that nobody was enthusiastic to go see this weekend's offerings. So the film from last week that is now sitting at $160 million domestic pulled everybody's interest because the people who didn't see it last weekend went and saw it this weekend. Heck, Lilo and Stitch even pulled in $9.7 million this weekend. which is a lot of money. It's sitting at 386.7 million domestic right now and 900 million or over 900 million internationally. The international numbers for How to Train Your Dragon are getting close to 400 million. That's going to probably make 700, 800 million by the end of the run. You got a lot of stuff coming out, which is pretty stiff competition that I don't know. I mean, at this point, I'm thinking that if Superman lands somewhere in the middle of all of these different varying projections, that's going to be good for it, at least the domestic office. I don't know where it's going to be internationally. I don't even know. This is why I had the conversation with Bo, the history bro. If you haven't seen that video, go back and check it out. Uh, it's well worth it because it talks about the English uh, thoughts around Superman. We talked about F1 and Superman in that video for a very good reason, a difference in culture. And as Bo pointed out, US culture, American culture, has been pervasive around the globe since the end of the Second World War. And that's really caused a lot of change around the globe that's now being thwarted by the globalists out there for the worse. And it's, creating circumstances and situations that, we're dealing with today because of some actions over the weekend. I'm not a guy that enjoys those levels of confrontation. I mean, there are times with which it's important to deal proactively with issues, but I'm thinking that's an awful lot of political capital to spend at exactly the wrong time. Don't interrupt your enemies when they're making a mistake. How about that? How about that? I do find it amusing that the Materialists, the A24 film about the threesome, the thruple, is not doing terribly well, losing 50% of its earnings over the weekend, which it didn't start out highly to begin with, yielding it only 23.9 million in total domestic earn. Internationally, it's still not performing a whole lot better, and it will struggle to get to the break even point. But then I'm reminded that A24 sells all of its stuff to streaming services, usually before they even release it, so it probably will be okay. And again, that's the other thing. If you're a studio with no streaming service, you likely are to be in great shape because you're just making material for theaters, but always have a second place to sell it, maybe a third. They don't do that anymore with the major studios, which is one of the reasons why they're falling apart. Just one. The other one is just being full of political nonsense. I think Blade and Punisher going head to head would be great. That's just me, though. Hey, Barry the Music Man is here. Good to see you. Uh, let's see. Johnny Cab. That's right. That's that was fun, right? In the original Schwarzenegger film. Yeah, I really loved that. Get your ass to Mars. Anyway, Festifola says if my options are the taxi drivers around here and robo taxis, I'll take the robo taxis. Ugh. Yeah, RJ McGreedy. I'm not using Johnny Cab. Well, you're not going to have a mad AI like that, I don't think. I will say this. Robert, I think, might be of the same opinion as I am. Let me grab that super chat because let's see. For $2, thank you, Robert. How is F1 any different from 2001 Sly film Driven? I don't know exactly. I know that all of the stuff for this film was shot with um, overlaid cars from a different circuit, not Formula One, but they were shot on the same track and during the same cycles and tests and post race and all kinds of stuff. They were shot at the same time, and that's why you're going to see a lot of scenes with real crowds and real racing action, is because it was shot in tandem with that. Um, one of the longtime winning drivers, I believe, was an executive producer on this film. And much like my enjoyment with Gran Turismo, which was just a couple years ago, um, I think this is one that I'm gonna enjoy because it's gonna literally be right there on the track action. CC, is Paramount Plus finally doing well? Yeah, actually. Um, Paramount Plus has a catalog builder in their midst that they pay handsomely. Taylor Sheridan is a phenomena and a good one. Between Yellowstone and every other thing that has been being done, including Landman, I think that there is nothing but an upward trajectory for Paramount, especially as we see Skydance take it over, which I think that is going to happen this week. I think you're going to see that deal come to a close because I think the settlement between Trump and Paramount will be resolved. I think that settlement will happen. I think an apology will show up. I think you'll see a bunch of whiny fake news people resign. So that'll be good. And you may see the shutdown of 60 Minutes, which would also be good. So I hope that was an answer. Jared Markham asked a question. The question is, at what point do things like RoboCop, Boo Taxi become Robo Taxi, uh, really difficult to hack? I think we're already there. Um, One of the things that bothers me though is their access to the internet, which it will obviously have. Um, but I don't see Musk risking anybody's well-being. So I think that'll be kind of difficult to hack. If we would have seen people wanting to hack cars, we would have seen it in the recent, fake news uprising against Tesla to begin with, right? People, instead of setting them on fire, just start driving the cars and running them over people, right? I'm talking about remotely, not physically. Yeah, no, you're right. Putin's cat AI is going to take its experience with driving around others and use its prediction models that it's built off of the other idiots around you to avoid collisions. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about the robocars. Scooby Pup! You can check out Scooby Pup's channel. That was super fun. I was on Scooby Pup's channel on Saturday. What a good time that was, hanging out with Stark of Iron, our own Tony Stark here in the sphere. And that was a good time. So check out Scooby Pup's channel. She's a delight. It's a good time. I had so much fun trying to catch up with everybody now. Yeah, I saw the tipping thing. I tried to watch it. Um, I tried to watch that and, like normal, while I'm in the midst of watching the video clip, it gets yoinked out of my feed. So as soon as I find it, I'll finish that up. But it looked pretty funny. Da, da, da. Look, I'm more terrified by this trend with putting AI and fake sentience into anima well, not even animatronics, robots to be people's companions. I think you're going to see more of what I've been covering over on the Campione channel with ladies screaming about where did all the men go? Well, pretty soon their men are going to be, you know, enjoying a life with a AI robot companion. I think a lot of the stuff that we've seen in recent media is predictive of what's going to happen, and you're going to have over 50% of ladies in single positions all the way into their 50s. I think that's a reality if we don't figure out how to, get back to common sense relationships. It's going to be a problem. Wild stuff. Man, I am 10 minutes behind, 12 minutes behind again. My goodness. You guys are all too engaging. Luke is here. Say hi to Luke, everybody. Hi, Luke. Holler if you hear me. That's right. And let's see. Hang on. Da, 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 da. I am trying to catch up with everybody. This is insanity. But Carlos Alfredo Lopez, keep hoping for F1 to be a good action film. Trailers look good. It looks amazing. And if you have an iPhone device and you go watch the trailer on the Apple Plus service on your phone, it's a haptic trailer, which means your phone is like shaking and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. Ah, Culture, I have a member chat on YouTube. Do you, buddy? All right. And thank you very much for the 2 gifties so far. Weatherman with a dollar rumble rant over there. I will find it, my friend. I saw Psychotic Mongoose dropped a gifty. Thank you, Psychotic Mongoose. And I saw Staccato DDS with a comment. I will get to that in a moment. Just a moment. Weatherman with a member chat says, I have reboot and remake fatigue. And scrapbooking scripts really suck. Dude, you are preaching to the choir right now. I'm going to tell you, Gunn calling out the Marvel in particular, but everything else that's being done right now with films being made without scripts completed, like they're just waiting for the last pages or whatnot. That always leads to a disaster because it doesn't mean that everything lines up and there's not some reason to rewrite it all again to make it make more sense with whatever the ending you came up with. I think that's always a bad plan. I really do. Um, yeah, thank you for the 500 subs from my 1023 video essays. Taylor Sheridan, he's great. He's great. If Paramount can't get sold, they will lose Taylor Sheridan. He's already fighting to get his budget restored. Yeah, he's had his budgets reduced in the last couple of projects recently. He's not wrong to criticize that because he's the one that's making them an awful lot of money. Barry the Music Man says, I watched an F1 race back when it was filmed. Yeah. Pitt acted like an ass and tracks what? Refusing to speak down on the track? That's against how things work in the sport. Yes, everybody's very friendly. They're very crowd engaged in F1. That had to have been a different experience. Ah, I don't like to hear that. I usually like to hear good things. Usually Brad Pitt's seen as a good guy. That's really weird. Um, Luke's going to be seeing and reviewing F1. So am I. So am I. I can't wait to see what you have to say. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Staccato DDS for 10 Culture Casino Cash says ticket and concession prices, are too high to justify mediocre content. Doom Loop for exhibitioners. You are 100% correct, my friend. I have to tell you that it is odd to pay $27 for a popcorn bucket. This 90 cents worth of plastic from China or, some other manufacturing center in the globe. I don't know. Pretty wild. I will say this, fountain soda costs almost nothing to produce. Your box and bag systems that have been around for 40, 50 years, there was zero reason to charge what you do for soda. The refill loyalty cups, the refillable popcorn things, all that kind of stuff. Those were all good ideas, and they honored the customer. They still had some profit built into them. So if they can make a profit off of a $2 soda refill, they shouldn't be charging you $7 for a soda. They certainly shouldn't be charging you $12 for a bottle of water. Those things just don't jive. Juliet says or points out that Driven wasn't very popular. 94 million budget, made 54 million at the box office. That's no bueno. Plus those numbers there, 4.6 out of 10. Not good. But it doesn't surprise me because Stallone doesn't strike me as the right body type or guy or temperament for racing. So maybe that's just me. And thank you, Staccato DDS. There's Psychotic Mongoose gifting a membership to Scott Somers, who's been here for a long, long time. That service dog in the house, great to see you. When people boast about AI for information sharing, I share a screenshot of Google's AI telling about roosters laying eggs. Yeah, no, look, um, always verify whatever it is you ask an AI for because you can. There'll be ways to definitely check your work, so to speak. But I'm oftentimes, chastising Grok and redirecting it. I tell Chat GPT it's lying to its face, sharing examples and evidence to the effect. Um, and you get, cryptic, pre-programmed apologetic language. It just is annoying. So hopefully Grok gets sorted out. Hey, Big H is in the house. Remember Itchy and Scratchy? I do. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Uh, AI girlfriend with an attitude and knives coming for you. Not a good thing. No, I don't think so either. I think a lot of you are fairly on point with your concerns about AI. I'm with you. Uh, let's see what else is out there. John, the Beagle Dad, is here with the cute picture. Super cute. Okay. I'm glad you're here, my friend. Back to your old AM shifts. Well, I'm glad you're here, my friend, my pal. Let's see who else is out there in the world. Randall Orser says we used to sneak a Mickey in back in the 90s. Yep. Yep. A lot of people used to sneak snacks in. I don't think they even care anymore, to be fair. I think most theater employees understand that the patrons are being taken advantage of, not just by the entertainment itself, but by their own very concession stand. I'm particularly upset about how movie popcorn is flavored now, and very concerned that it is not improving anybody's health. Let's say it nicely like that. Let's see who else is out there. So a creator who focuses on Disney um, said that Disney adults and the footage of everyone running into Universal has Nolan Thunder running in front of. That's what I think. I think Nolan Thunder is probably one of the best people at covering video games, and I think he's one of the best with theme parks. I think he gets the opportunity to do what I did up until my 40s, to kind of live vicariously through the young people around him. So when my nieces and nephews and all the young people in my family went to theme parks to explore, I got that same childlike enjoyment that I had when I was seeing it for the first or 100th time. Um, but yeah, great stuff. Oh, you've been here. You've been here for over a year, Scott. I'm pretty sure, my friend. Pretty sure. Dean Krantz in the house. Great to see you, my friend. I am more pinky in the brain. That's right. What are we doing tonight, brain? uh, there's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. Truly, truly. Since I actually watch a ton of videos about AI, and of course I've always been into animatronics and built plenty myself. But when I look at for reasons actually. But when you look at what they've been doing recently with this tech and marrying it all together, I think we're not that far away from a very dystopian future. The Optimus robots are now advancing at a pretty incredible rate. Um, One of the recent tech demos of these, girlfriend dolls, whatever you want to call them, um, was kind of terrifying. And as they kind of integrate the idea of something like a an Optimus bot with a female presence, it's going to be a real issue. I think by the 2030s, this will be quite the dilemma in the relationship world. That's just me. Cobra, what a great film, Fletch. I love that. Same era as the film Fletch, to be fair. And I watched Cobra the other night, and the final scene of Stallone on the motorcycle was hilarious with a giant Bridget Nielsen on the back. I know, man, she was great. There was so much great in the 80s, I think. I don't know about you, but I think so. Kaladin 910 returns. Our favorite radio station re-arrives. Good to see you. Real actual butter is not bad for you. I agree. Unlike the alternatives. Oh, yeah. Hey, man, oleo is basically an epoxy. Most people don't realize. You used to hand mix your margarine your own self. True story. Look it up. Let's see. Oh, you're fine, Big H. I just hope you're okay. I worry about all of y'all. I really do. Danger Mouse, Danger Mouse. Yes. Man, I lived in a great era. Cherry 2000s. Yeah, that's unfortunately where I think we're headed. That movie Companion that was recently out. There's more and more things out there that I think we need to be keenly aware of when it comes to that. I mean, this what a what a dystopian future. Brett Reynolds, what's up? I bought a pizza from Little Caesars and got $4 off my ticket for the Fantastic Four movie. You're kidding me, Brett. Really? Oh no. That's not a good sign for Fantastic Four. I think even Disney knows that film's doomed. This is the weirdest thing. If you know you've been making poop, um, and you double down on the formula for making poop, and you do that again and again and again, don't you think that at that point everybody's going to think anything you make will be poop, and nobody will want to see it? I think so. I think that's a real problem. The weekend box office is always a fun thing to go through, which is why we do it every Monday on Midnight's Edge in the morning. But I think it's always telling as to what the trends are. And right now, I'm with Staccato DDS. We are in one of the worst doom loops I've ever seen. I think when Valiant and I and a couple other people get together to talk about it, it's always like how this is unsustainable, and every investor should know that. They should know that. Disney, even though they used to think they could thrive on their theme parks forever, that's starting not to be a thing. If you're looking at the attendance right now, they're not there. People aren't showing up. The Dismal Disney is in full effect. People don't trust Disney. It's not family entertainment anymore. It's not valuable to people, right? When you go to a theme park, you expect to go on lots of attractions. You don't expect to be robbed when you have to, get a bottle of water or something. And yet at Disney, they're charging 4 times what the bottle of water would cost you out of a vending machine. You certainly shouldn't be paying them for that. I carry around a metal water bottle that right now is invisible to y'all, but I carry this around the theme parks, and or one of these. I've got many of them, but I just refill it with water. There are water refill stations, and every time I go back to my accommodations, I take a bottle of water out of the refrigerator and fill it up the water bottle. I buy cases of water because I can get a case of water for what it cost me 2 bottles of water at the freaking theme park. It's insane. And that's one of those things, you know? It's wild. Morgan Geese's Culture posted a bear video on in Discord, and did you see the AI 3D model generator in the AI channel? I did not. I will go and take a look at both of those things, and I'll try to post the bear video in tomorrow's stream. How about that? How about that? I sound like that chick. Hey, good morning, Rachel. It's been a minute. It was great to see you in another stream the other day. I hope you're doing well. FKHC 2005. Moon River. That's right, FK. I remember that. Oh man, that's such a great man. I got to go back and watch that movie now. It's good stuff. I'm 4 minutes behind on chat. Oh no, indeed. Yeah, saturated fat is not very great for you, but there's a lot of things that leave your system before you have issues. But yeah, I would just try to eat healthy. Everything in moderation that would be deemed healthy, probably great for you. So there's that. Um, I love Battlestar Galactica. I don't forget it. I have both the new one and the original close at hand and rewatch them regularly. Yeah, I think I said poop a lot just a little while ago. Sorry for that. To save the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the next Doctor Strange must be where he fights Nightmare and then he kills Nightmare, or suspends him and then the Fantastic Four fight the real for Franklin. Yeah. Well, that's actually what's happening in the film. I recorded a video I was going to release today. I haven't finished editing it yet, but I recorded a video I was going to release today about everything that I know now about the Fantastic Four, all the spoilers, everything, including, John Malkovich's Red Ghost and the character that Natasha is going to be playing. Um, the plot is garbage. The film, from everything that I have, seems to be quite garbage. I'm still going to go and see it and review it. I'll let you know what I think, but that's the bad thing about learning everything about everything. So I'm going to be a month ahead on a lot of stuff now, which is bad. Jared Markham, well, that's because what's affected their movies was force fed into the parks. Yeah. Yeah. Look, this theme park business operates off nostalgia. And again, I think this is part of the rant I had on either Friday or Saturday. But if you don't have anything that ties back to something that you long for, to better times, to better situations, you don't have nostalgia anymore. You don't have a theme park. You don't have future fans. And if you're not appealing to families and they don't get the same repeatable experiences generation after generation, you're going to die. And that's what Disney's doing. They're killing their theme parks. The Frontierland isn't even the first shot across the bow, and neither was the remaking of Splash Mountain. They'd been doing this for a bit. They were removing the shooting gallery, changing the hub design so they could save money on fireworks and give you a bunch of projection garbage that seems pretty empty at times. This is what the Disney parks have become. Cost value operation. There are no perks. There's no plus size. There's no Disney difference. That's all spin. There used to be. This particular model of Disney is disgusting. They eliminate more than they give back. In fact, it's a net loss of attractions anytime they go in a theme park to do some kind of magical redesign. You got very little out of the Epcot remake, and you're going to get even less out of whatever they plan to do over at Animal Kingdom. It's always a net loss ever since New Fantasyland. Let's not even pretend. Customers are getting less and less value from Disney in their theme parks, which is their money-making operation. I don't think it's going to be money-making much longer. They're just lost about, and we'll find out if these numbers are accurate, over 20% of market share because of Epic Universe. And by the end of operation of year one for Epic Universe, we're going to know exactly what kind of dent they put in Disney and what they will be continuing to do as they move forward on phase two. of Epic Universe? This is a conversation we're going to be having for a couple of years now. Wouldn't be surprised. Invisible water. Yeah, well, this is not. This is totally visible Star Wars coffee. So I see another wonderful super chat from our friend Staccato. I've got to find. So give me a moment. Just a moment. Anybody name that movie? Oh wait, I got that one from Staccato. The scroll was off. Look, I'm one of those people that I look at trends. It's how it's one of the ways to operate your business and everything else to understand what's happening and what's coming, et cetera, et cetera. And I see Disney's dominance of theme parks falling apart. I see Universal looking into cruise ships. I see Universal not only expanding in the UK, but also finding their way into that Spain theme park development area. You don't think Universal's looking to take over? They're in all the places Disney is in Asia. What's that telling you? And I'm telling you right now that more people want to go to Spain than probably want to go to France right now. Tobak was gifted a membership by Weatherman. Congratulations, Tobak. Tobak. That was an hour ago. Big H, you futurist, you. No, I mean, just look to the visionaries of the past to see the future. If you think like one of them, if you think like Disney, if you project from the character that was Tony Stark and his father, is just think of what under the best circumstances could be created in the near future based on what we know now. An understanding of material science and other things really do grant you a look forward, and that's why we love sci-fi, because were a bunch of minds that did exactly that. Well, here's where we are, and here's all the nascent technologies that exist. Um, what's the future? Not that hard. Yeah, the Lorena stream was a lot of fun. I'm glad she's got 5 years in on YouTube. She's still knocking it out of the park. Love her to death. She is a true cousin, as she says. So Universal should send Bob a thank you card and a fruitcake. Yeah, let's wall up our park. Let's do no work while we're shut down in our theme parks. Let's not do any maintenance. Let's just let these things rot for another half a year before we get them back up and running, and then wonder why we got issues. Let's put electric solenoids and other actuators. Let's put all these actuators that have to be completely dry, moisture free environment. Let's put all those in surrounded by water, constant humidity. This is super dumb. Anyway, Bob is a fruitcake. Hey, Larry Wells in the house. What's going on? What did Jared say? Did I miss Jared? Probably somewhere. Dean Krantz's companies rise and fall. If the government had not stepped in GM and Chrysler would have been gone the way of the dodos. I am not sure the government will step in if Disney fails. I don't think they will. I think, look, and this is my opinion. I am not going to give you financial advice, but Disney is so overvalued, it's ridiculous. They are destroying their own future. How could anyone possibly think Disney is going to be living it up next decade? I don't. But I know this much. Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle sent me an amazing Shiba Inu dog saying, hello, hello, for $2. Thank you, my friend. I love Shiba Inus. Amazing. Yeah, this is the weird thing. They went away from pneumatic controls and operational solenoids and reactions, and simple drive motors to these very sophisticated computer controlled uh, and circuit boards and everything else. The controllers, I mean, if you think about how sophisticated some of these animatronics are, like they have like 19 actuators or servos operating just the facial structure alone. And then they're tying it all together into a performance that's triggered by an optical scanner that, you know, and if something happens out of sync, the unit freaks out, goes into T pose or neutral position. And if anything goes wrong in the performance, the head turns too far at an angle, the positional sensor says this thing's out of place, it just shuts it down. There's so many issues with the way they are building these animatronics these days. Um, Simple control boards, and if you need to do that, pressure systems are so much better. They can be noisy if you don't probably, deal with where you're going to exhaust whatever the material is that you're utilizing, whether it be nitrogen, which there's hundreds of miles of nitrogen lines in Disney World specifically. But if you're using any kind of pressurized fluid or air or compressed gas, those are infallible, and they don't even have to be located within anywhere in the vicinity of the moisture. It's just stupid. Anyway, engineering. Sorry. Start talking engineering, I'll talk forever on animatronics and ride systems and everything else. I'm wild. Hey, Andy, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Dragon Queen, the amazing Dragon Queen. Hope you're doing well. I love that song. I'm gonna have to. I need to steal a bunch of stuff from Pro. That's right. Kiss. Keep it simple. Stupid. Yeah. I mean, if you're like I said, I mean, you can have automated control systems operated by just a shift in temperature. There's nothing wrong with using things similar to, if not exactly, a mercury switch. There's a whole lot of conversations to be had about just make things simple. Dumb. Hey, Randall, have a great day, my friend. Thank you for being all you are, sir. What a good man. Randall Orser. Canadian Roland, by the way. All right. Well, we're going to cut it short now. We've got just about 15 minutes until Midnight's Edge in the morning. I hope you all enjoy that. I'm going to have quite a full day. I've got a Johnny Depp video to edit for you to get that out by the end of the day. And I have a super surprise for tomorrow. And I can't record the video until late tonight or tomorrow. I think you'll all enjoy it. On that note, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others. Wash your hands because it's good hygiene and people are getting sick right now. Don't let that be you. And until next time, see ya. Maybe on my farm.
Old culture had a farm.